It was standing room only at Morinville Council Chambers June 22nd as residents and dignitaries gathered for a very special and historic celebration.
Does everybody have a program?
And what we're doing tonight is doing something that basically has its tradition and its history that goes back nearly 1,000 years to the Dukes of Normandy, northern France, when they initiated a chain of office recognition. And that history has remained and continued in many parts of the world, many parts of North America. But in the constituency that I have the privilege of representing, this is the first such chain of office recognition. And so it has historic merit. Next year in the community of Morinville, the community will be celebrating its 100th anniversary. So let's look upon tonight as a prelude to the kickoff of the 100th anniversary celebrations that will occur in the year 2011. This is a remarkable work of art. And it's a chain that goes back to the first individual who served, and as I understand, Mr. Gwynn, Mayor Gwynn, in 1901, 1902, that you didn't necessarily call the gentleman the mayor, as much the administrator in the early days. So history has evolved, and we have on this chain all of the names of all of the administrators and the mayors the community of Morinville going back to 1901, 1902. At the top of the chain is a coat of arms, Canadian one, at the top of the chain. And then from the top of the chain going all the way down, we have Canadian maple leaves on both sides, bounded by Alberta, wild roses throughout, and the names of all these mayors and all these administrators going right back to the present. And at the bottom is the Alberta coat of arms, and then at the bottom by the Morinville's coat of arms. So Mr. Mayor, on behalf of all of the good people who live in this part of Alberta, on behalf of your council, would you kindly come forward, sir? Your command. Wow, that looks pretty nice.
It's certainly a great honor and privilege for me to be the first mayor of the town of Morinville to receive the chain of command, chain of office. And thanks very much to Councillor Goslin. Under former Mayor Ted Code, he started bringing in the coat of arms to the community, and I was fortunate enough to finish that during the first term. At that time, Councillor Goslin got on about a year later and said, you know, we need a chain of office for the mayor as well. And I said, no, that's crazy. We don't need any of those kinds of things. But over the last number of years, hanging out a little bit with the speaker, being attended a number of events there, going to the base, a number of change of commands there, certainly with the RCMP and a number of the events, I've come to appreciate that this type of, I'm looking for the words, the ceremonial pieces of the office that we hold are just as important as the work that we do, and it is very much my privilege to accept this on behalf of all the past mayors and on behalf of all the future mayors as well. And I did leave blanks on this one, so I can assure you that Honourable Cannon will not be the last. So with that, I'd like to thank all the former mayors as well. First started off on council under Mayor Quinn and taught me a great deal about making sure that you pay as you go and making sure that you look after your infrastructure first and foremost, and it was very crucial. Remember the very first meeting that we had, you may not remember, I was about 29 or something, and I wasn't going to say too much the first year. I thought, you know what, I snuck in here pretty quietly, unknown, and I'm not going to say too much. And the very first issue that's being debated, Mayor Quinn looked at me and says, Lloyd, what do you think? And he included me in the group right to start with, and I've used that every term since to make sure that all the councils immediately get included in the conversations. Mayor Balsley, we had a great term, was the first office, you were the first mayor of this office when we moved over to here, and served one term with Mayor Balsley as when she was the mayor. Always very good to me as well during our terms, both on council as well as when she was the mayor. AUMA has a conference every year, and the very first one is about a month after you're first elected. The whole thing is kind of a whirlwind. You walk into a room with 1,200 people and you don't know anybody. Mayor Balsley made sure that I got to know at least half of them that first year. She knew them all, but I got to introduce a great number of them. Mayor Code and I never did have the opportunity to serve under Mayor Code because we took turns whumping each other in the polls. But I did have the opportunity to serve with Ted on council the first term, and I've had a numerous conversations since on his perspective, and I've always appreciated his take on things. Mayor Burt, I never did have the opportunity. I was thinking it was about grade 3 when you were the mayor. But of course, know Burt and Jeanette very well throughout the community for all the volunteer work that you've done, not only when you were mayor and council, but certainly through the years as well, and of course through the Shell Station for a number of years. And thank you all for your work, and it's your leadership that I've tried to keep up as best I could. So with that, again, it's a great privilege and honor for me to accept this first chain of office for the mayor of the town of Morinville, and thanks very much appreciate receiving from Mr. Speaker as well.
Thank you very much.
In addition to the ceremonial chain of office, 5 of Morinville's former mayors received a scaled-down version of the chain.